Oh man, I like our new setup.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
You're still a little taller than me.
I'm sitting up straighter than you. That's what's...
I think I'm shrinking.
We all shrink. It's okay. You just got a head start on me.
A 10-year head start. Oh my God. Is this my water?
That's your water.
Maybe if I drink, I'll grow.
The water does help to make you feel more refreshed. And I think we're on.
Really?
Yeah. Hey everybody. It's Barb and Cynthia from River City Yarns.
Hi.
And we're doing our monthly
29th.
podcast. 29th episode. Yeah. And we're doing it a little earlier this month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We thought we'd try and come out a week earlier. Mm-hmm. And
tell everybody why.
Well, it's sort of like a balance of work-home life. We have so many things happening on the 15th, mm-hmm. right? We have our podcast that comes out. We have a newsletter. Mm-hmm. We have Flash Mob a few days later. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of like putting a lot of pressure on us.
That's true. Yeah. to do a lot right in the middle of the month.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's become my goal to reduce pressure.
Good.
And stress a little bit.
Good.
And try and, so we thought, well, if we push this a week, mm-hmm. that will really help things.
Yeah. So we'll come out early in the month with the podcast, mm-hmm. and then the newsletter on around the 15th, Flash Mob on the 20th, and we do another newsletter. Yeah, for the beginning of the next month. Mm-hmm. So we're podcasting in June.
Right.
Spring has finally come to Edmonton, Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
It's not summer yet. It's
no,
still spring.
Still spring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that means you can still wear woolens.
Yes. And you're not wearing you're wearing this beautiful popover, and we'll talk about that in a second, but you also had a crocheted shawl on top of it.
I was double layered this morning because of the air conditioning. It's so chilly in here.
But I thought you should leave all that stuff on because when you remember when we visited with the Rowan team?
Yeah.
And they were talking about H&H, mm-hmm. which is the big craft show in Germany.
Show in Cologne.
Mm-hmm. In Cologne, yeah. Mm-hmm. They said that the models, so each designer only gets like a minute on the runway. So the designers put everything on their models. So you have, 3 models walking down, and they've got the sweater, the scarf, the knitted skirt,
the knitted stockings,
the hat,
everything,
the cowl on top of the scarf, because you only have a few seconds to show off all
We're not
stuff.
really like that though. We have an entire hour, right?
Well, yes. So, although we try to keep it to that. So
No, I was doing double duty this morning just because it was so chilly in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's one of the things about summertime, right? Your air conditioner kicks in and away it goes.
And you're not used to it. Yeah. And it does cool things off really fast.
Yeah.
So we were talking about
today?
we were talking about what have we been up to?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we've had lots of things happening here in Edmonton. Fiber Frolic. And, of course, it's just everything that comes with June. It's supposed to be a slower time for us here in the yarn shop.
But it's not.
But it's not. We do more of the behind the scenes kind of thing.
Right. And we're going to we're doing a little reno in the store. Mm-hmm. We're going to move some stuff around. Mm-hmm. All of the ordering happens now for fall.
Yes.
And actually, for the last 3 months, we've kind of been looking at fall, and I'll talk a little bit about that later.
Been meeting with reps and looking at new yarns, and it's kind of hard sometimes. I think you should talk about that.
Sure.
Hard to wrap your head around the next season when you just barely entered a season, right?
Yeah.
That when you're ordering yarn is already over.
I know, yeah.
So we'll talk about that. But also what we've been doing is helping our mom.
Right.
She's
On
moved.
A personal note, our mom has moved into a
seniors residence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's got a little tiny apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment. And so she's moving out of her condo. And so we went over there and we had some finds, some vintage finds. Mm-hmm. This tablecloth, we'll do a little close up of it afterwards, but this tablecloth that we've got on our, in our store was crocheted by our grandmother. And it's a beautiful tablecloth that our mom had on our dining room table. Mm-hmm. I tried it on my dining room table, but it's round. And so I thought this would just be better in the store where we have some square tables.
Amazing that our grandma did this. And I think Lynn said she did this like 70 years ago.
Wow.
Because our grandma died like 15 years ago, and she would be 105 or something.
Well, this is Grandma Tutton.
Yeah. So she would have crocheted this, like, Lynn figured out the math.
I think I remember this, though, and I'm not 70 years old.
Oh. When she did it?
Yeah, I think I remember this being on the dining room table at the house at the lake.
Okay, well.
Yeah. But and
sorry, Lynn, your math's wrong. Because
that's our older sister.
She's got a better memory than me and you. Couldn't you just go with it?
Always trying to blame all the stuff on the youngest child.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
She just elbowed me.
All right,
man,
anyways.
Sibling rivalry. Yes, I have a better memory than both of them.
This is done by our grandma.
I'm pretty sure.
What else did you find?
What else did you find? Because you brought something to the store as well that you made.
Oh, okay, yeah. Back in the 70s, I made a macrame hanging.
Also before I was born.
Yeah. That's right. How would you know? You weren't even born yet. Oh, my God. Mom!
In the
Cynthia's being mean. Tell her to stop.
Okay. Go back to your story.
Okay. I forgot what it was now.
And I'm not saying anything. Back in the 70s.
Yeah. Macrame was hot. And so I did a wall hanging. And it was really quite cool. It was done out of jute. And I remember it had a big circle, and I put this little, we lived on a lake, so I put a little lake scene with a seagull. And we found it in my mom's basement. And, it was in a pile in a corner.
It was nice that she kept it.
It was.
We won't comment on how she kept it, but it was nice that she kept it. Yeah.
So we brought it to the store and hung it in the washroom. And along with a few other pictures, there were some there that you were gifted too as wedding gifts or something, right?
Yeah.
For your first marriage.
For my first marriage, yes. But they're lovely pieces of embroidery. And so we thought it would be nice to, hanging them in the washroom. We have to say why.
The reason is because every other wall in our store is full. There's no room for artwork anywhere except maybe really high up on the ceiling.
Right.
And so these were pieces that our washroom walls were completely bare. So we're starting to fill them with artwork.
Well, the reason I thought we put them in the washroom was because when we went to Fiber and Vine in Norway, Maine, which is this beautiful little yarn shop in Norway, Maine, when we went to use the washroom before we left, the walls in this particular yarn shop were just covered with beautiful pieces of vintage work, handwork, and so we thought this is a nice.
Inspired us.
It's a nice way to cheer up a space, like you say, which didn't have a whole lot on the walls besides a paper towel dispenser.
Right.
So I think that shop was really inspiring. And then when we went to help our mom go through all these things in the house, I came away with some beautiful vintage teacups and saucers. And, they're not
photographs, we found
pictures.
photographs and pictures. And I'm so happy we went because, what happens to stuff like that? It kind of gets put into a garage somewhere or worse, even Goodwill. So I was really happy that we went.
Right. So remind me to come back to that because I think this month, part of our theme for this month is about making. And I was inspired when we went to the Knit for Fun retreat because there was a maker there who was reusing things, finds.
So do I need to remind you then, or are you just going to talk about that?
Do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I brought some. So this is this is another thing that I found at Mom's house. Now, it was on a plastic embroidery hoop and it had some acrylic lace surrounding it. So it was just way too granny-ish, right? And so I took it out. Now this was going to get dumped, right? Because it really didn't look like it had much value. But I love the embroidery in there.
Work that's in there, Cynthia.
Yeah. And so I thought, then I went into my felting cupboard because the other thing that we've done in the past is we've gone to places like Value Village or the thrift shop, and you buy a wool sweater, something that's 100% wool, and then you put it through your washing machine. So I had a couple of pieces of fabric.
We do this because we do some felted workshops. We did some at Christmas time where we made stockings and things.
Yeah.
And it requires felt.
And Barb, you can tell everybody, how difficult is it to find felted wool sheets? Like, it's hard.
Very, very hard to, like, brand new ones to buy.
You can go to the craft store. You can go to Michael's and you can buy.
They're not wool.
Faux wool, right? Craft sheets. But to buy felted wool is really hard. So here's a piece from a jacket.
Isn't that cool?
That's got a beautiful little plaid on one side and a navy blue on the other.
Yeah.
And so I thought, because I'm not very good at sewing with my sewing machine, I missed that.
Okay.
I missed that skill. But I thought you can hand sew. And
a little bag?
Yeah. Or like an iPad cover.
Or a market bag. Did you see the ones from Julie from Cocoa Knits?
Yes.
You could just put handles on that and away you go.
But I thought what I might do, Barb, is put this on as a detail on a bag.
Yeah. Or give this to Britta. And have her do it for you.
Yeah,
she would sew that on in a minute.
I think I need that experience of, and I'm talking to, we have a staff member here who's good at embroidery, and she's going to do she's developing an embroidery class for us. And because we're not a needlework shop, we're a yarn shop, the embroidery class is going to be about applying things to your wool projects.
Great.
Yeah. So you can take a piece like this, or we've got some really cool products here in the store, which I'm rediscovering again. Like this. This is paper. Yeah. And this one, we have a couple of different kinds, but this one you can print on. And then after you print it on it, you pull up the fabric side from the sticky back,
right?
And you put it on your fabric and you embroider. So it gives you a pattern, you embroider on it. And then when you wash it, this dissolves.
How cool is that?
It's so cool because I was thinking about tracing flowers on and we're just going to.
We had that in the back room, right?
Yeah. So we're going to bring it out again. I'm going to make up some kits for our embroidery class. And so our instructor is going to teach people how to do different embroidery stitches, and they can pick some patterns and we can put it on felt. And you can learn some stitches.
You know, we have those beautiful bags too from the fiber company, like
You're talking about the felted bags up here on the wall?
Yeah. They have
Fibers of Life.
Fibers of Life. Couldn't you see that as a little art panel on the front of your Fibers of Life bag?
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So that's a long story, but basically we took a piece of a vintage art project that our mom had done. But you can find these things anywhere, right?
Do you think our mom did that?
I think she might have embroidered. She didn't knit.
Do you think? I doubt it.
You think Lynn did that?
No, I think somebody gave it to her. Remember?
We'll have to ask her.
She always was quite proud that, knitting and crochet had passed her generation. It went from our grandma to us.
True.
I think women, too, in those days didn't really want to do crafting. They were all about... she was all about working and getting out.
She did toll painting. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah,
like paper cutting and she was crafty in different ways.
Yeah,
so
she loved to bake too.
Yeah, and so I think it's just kind of fun to to take something that you have a memory or even no memory of. It could be somebody else's handcraft, but to reuse it in another way. Yeah. And I really like the whole aesthetic around taking something that was old and reusing it. Yeah. Yeah.
What else are you working on?
I am working on some swatches.
Oh, let's see.
Do you want me to talk about that?
Sure.
Okay. I'm hogging up all the talking time.
Well, I know, and if you see me go like this,
she's like, speed it up, Cynthia. Yeah, get going. Okay. So we had a question. As retailers, we get lots and lots of questions. In fact, this week I've had lots of people coming in with yarn emergencies. But we had a question
Oh, yeah. This is the hat trick.
Yeah.
Hockey socks.
This is our hat trick yarn.
Yeah.
I'll bring out the ball here. And the question was about some socks that we have. So our display socks are done on 60 stitches. And we have a pattern that we give out free of charge, and it has 3 sock sizes in it. One sock is done on 52 stitches, one on 60 stitches, and one on 72 stitches. So youth size, women's size, men's size. And the question was about why the sock that the person was doing wasn't turning out like the sock that we had pictured on the pattern. And so I thought, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because each time you cast on a different number of stitches, or if you work at a slightly different gauge, you're going to get a different pattern. Mm-hmm. Because this yarn...
Well, and I don't think... People don't always know that either, right?
No, of course not. Absolutely
unless you're a dyer or you have a ton of experience with variegated yarns, you may not know about that.
Yeah. So we're going to... we're going to not republish the pattern, but we're going to change up the photos in the pattern. And I wanted to show what the socks would look like.
What have you got here?
So this is 52 stitches.
So this is 52.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that you get like, and this is Montreal, the colorway's Montreal.
This is done is this knit one, purl one, rib?
The top of the sock pattern calls for a knit one, purl one. And then the bottom, the leg is done in a 3x1 rib.
Rib. Okay. So you've changed up a little bit here.
Yep.
And you're getting sort of, I'd say, a swirl.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is the 60 stitches, and I've only got the cuff done, but you get more of a stripe in this one. Okay. Because the way that the red and the blue and the white play, right, you get this appearance of a thin stripe.
Right. And this is also what our socks were done on, right?
Yeah.
We kind of cheated a bit because we needed samples. Right. So we have a friend who has a sock machine, and she did all of our sock samples. We needed... Well, how many teams are there? 30.
I think there's 31 plus Canada, which is 32.
So we needed all these socks knit. So we went to her, and she did it on 60 stitches.
Yeah.
And she also probably has a different gauge too.
Yeah, she did a looser gauge so that the socks would fit a man's foot.
Right.
Because oftentimes men have bigger feet than women. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we do 52, 60, and 72
We should
stitches.
actually show one of those socks too.
We could. We'll pull it down. But I thought it would be good to replace or to add a picture to our pattern to show what one single colorway would look like with different stitches, with a different stitch count in it. And you can see that this is the 72. This is the men's.
So you're getting a real, almost like a flash here.
It's definitely a flash. Yeah. To me, it looks like, thunder and lightning.
Wonder Woman.
There's that too. But it comes back to, so this particular line of yarn, our hat trick line of yarn is a line of yarn that we developed with the dyer, and the colorway was based on the colors of the team. Mm-hmm. And so we think that Carolyn from Ancient Arts has done a superb job of picking colors that really match the logos and the uniforms.
We know she has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every time someone comes in our shop, or, a hockey fan comes in our shop, they instantly look at our wall, and we've got all 32 teams up there, and they go, oh, that's Montreal, that's Edmonton, that's Calgary. Right. They can actually tell just from seeing a skein of yarn. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty incredible, isn't it?
And she's got a specific length of skein to work with. Mm-hmm. So all of these yarns are variegated. They're not dyed to be striping yarns.
No.
But the funny thing is that when you knit them on 60 stitches, most of them will do a bit of a stripe, or if you stand back from it, have the appearance of a stripe. Yeah. So I think this was a really good exercise in showing people, and when we republish the pattern, when I get these done, we'll put a picture in the pattern to show what different stitch counts will do.
And you're using magic loop.
Yes.
Was that because you're in a hurry?
Yes. Well, I guess, yes.
Isn't your favorite 2 sets of circs?
2 circs, yeah. Well, if I were doing a pair of socks for myself, I would actually have 2 socks
at the
on
same
2
time,
circs. And then I don't have to count. But
wow, this is amazing, because the last time I saw this, you had this.
Yeah, on the little one. Yeah.
Good job. Holy.
Watching a lot of television because
This is amazing. It's so nice to see what happens when you have different.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
Caroline too, I know, has done a lot of research on pooling, and because that's her business, right?
Yep.
So we have to show these to her next time we see her.
For sure. So that's been my little obsession recently, is just working on those.
I swatched last month. And so this month I was tired of swatching. I thought I have to do something else.
Yeah. So what are you working on?
Well, I've fallen in love with Wisp from Handmaiden.
The Wisp popover?
No, not just that pattern, the yarn. I'm talking about the yarn. You guys, this yarn is the nicest mohair going. It's thicker than Rowan Kid Silk Haze or Shabui Silk Cloud or Lang. So it knits up so fast, and it's got such a great amount of halo to it. And so I knit this one in a weekend, and I absolutely love it. It's so nice and warm and cozy, and it's not over warm. In fact, a lot of times I'm peeling things off because I'm too hot. Not with this one.
No.
And then when Cynthia and I went to visit our friend Lucinda in Montreal, she had one, and she distributes Art Yarns beaded silk and sequins. She had one with beaded silk and sequins. And so I had a skein of that at home.
Yes.
And so I grabbed a ball of Wisp.
Oh my goodness.
From the store.
That's so pretty.
So this is what I'm using for a second one. I thought it would be fun because I love this minty shade.
You're right. This mohair is quite a bit thicker than the other ones we've been using in the store.
So it knits up so much faster. So this is it here. And then this is my Art Yarns. So I've had this in my stash quite a while.
Is this a whole skein or a partial skein?
Whole skein.
Wow.
Just one.
Yeah.
Wisp.
Yeah.
And one Art Yarns.
Nice. So you're just adding it in on its own?
Yeah. So every fourth row, I just do a row of this by itself. And Lucinda's was similar to this. I'm just about out, so I'm going to stop now, and then I'm going to do the rest of it, probably about that much, in just the plain mohair.
So you left off the crossover stitch that she has in it?
I did. Lucinda did the cross stitch in hers, but I was at a point where I was transitioning between the mohair and this, and I just didn't want to do it there. And I thought it'll look fine without it.
Yeah. That's lovely. You have a real thing for these pullover tops, don't you? Because you've done so many versions of...
I like the fact that you can just take them off and on,
Right. Yeah. That's really nice.
I love it.
So people can get this kit from our online store.
Yeah.
It's called the Whisper
Popover, and it comes with one skein of Wisp and the pattern in here for $39. It's a great deal.
And then if anybody wanted to add something like Art Yarns, they could give us a call, and because we don't have that on our online store.
We have a few skeins of it. We have some in black and this really dark navy. But I would say call Lucinda.
Okay, from Montreal. So
we'll get a skein of Art Yarns beaded silk and sequins from her.
We'll put a link in there.
Our Canadian distributor. Or give us a shout. We'll see if we have one. We could certainly pull something custom together for you. And
that's really nice.
Fun.
Excuse me.
I love the way it glitters too. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to see on camera, but here in the shop.
We'll do a close-up and we'll move it around so that people can see that. Yeah. It just catches the light so nice, because these are not just any beads and sequins.
They're Italian.
And the Italians do a really good job of things like that. Yeah,
they do.
You drop some stitches there, but you're not panicking. No. Because the mohair doesn't run, does it?
No, I can pick them up really easily. I told you I'm all about de-stressing. I'm not going to stress anymore about my knitting either.
If you make a mistake, what do you do when you're working with mohair, Barb?
Yeah, you just
ignore it?
Pull it out and pick them back up.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Seriously, it's like no big deal.
It is a very sticky yarn to work with. So, if you end up making a mistake, it's got a lot of fuzz on it. You could just leave it.
My first Wisp, I made it extra long because I thought, can you have it too long?
So you wanted to use up all the yarn?
And it was too long.
So the answer is yes, it can
It
be
was
too
a
long.
little bit like a straitjacket. My arms were like crunched down at my sides. So I took off seriously this much. And it was impossible to rip back. I actually had to cut it where I wanted it and then unravel. And this piece I thought I could reuse.
Yeah, no. So next time when you make it too long, give it to me and I'll steek armholes in for you.
Oh my gosh.
We'll cut it right here. And
you'll turn it into a sweater.
No, but then there'll still be a popover, but
see.
you can stick your arms through, like a capelet.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, right.
I'm so happy Mom and Dad spent all of my inheritance on your education.
Here we go again. You're the one who can sew.
I got to give you a little rough time once in a while.
Absolutely. If you can't take it, you can't give it, right?
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. I gave it to you earlier, so
yes.
I got to be able to take it back.
Exactly.
Yeah, these are, this is another reason why you need to knit with friends or family because we each have different skills.
Right.
Yeah. And we have different things that we like to knit.
And
so
different interests.
I like to knit socks and usually for Barb's birthday, she gets a pair of socks.
That's
and
right.
I like to cut vertically.
And my birthday's coming up. No pressure.
11 years old.
I might get a set of Montreal.
That's right.
There you go. We could photograph them and use them.
Exactly.
Okay. So the other thing I wanted to show you was this one.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of talking about crochet this month.
We are.
And this is one that I did some time ago out of this yarn. This is Julie Aslin, Nurtured Fine. I just want to read this to you. It's a blend of Rambouillet, Targhee, and Merino. 100% fine wool. And this is one of these North American yarns that are just beautiful.
Yeah, so all the sheep come from North America, right?
And it's spun in a way that gives it a lot of loft and bounce. It's it's rustic, but yet a soft, beautiful, lots of merino in here.
And her colors are really nice.
And her colors are beautiful. I'm just going to pop it on over top of this wisp just to give you a sense of what it looks like.
You know, wear it kerchief style?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I did this, the pinks just kind of, and the greens popped out on it, So whatever you put it on over top of, it kind of pulls that color.
Right.
And then the other thing about this was our whole month was chatting a lot about crochet. And so this is a class that you have in the portfolio, right?
Yeah, we have a class called Crochet from a Chart. So we use this pattern, which I think might be pronounced over the Willamette.
Yes. So our friends from Oregon?
Our friends someone from KFF told me how to say it
But
correctly.
didn't they live in that town?
Yeah, or around there. Yeah,
or Minnesota or something. I forget where this river is, but let us know how it's pronounced.
Yeah,
we're probably always mispronouncing it.
Yeah, and I'm wearing it in a previous flash mob, so it's a really fun pattern. We'll put a link to it in the show notes, and it's crocheted. It takes no time at all, really, right?
Well, for her. For me, it took a long time.
And you can make it as long as you want.
Right.
Like you don't have to go on and do the subsequent round. So I made mine extra long.
I kept going back and forth between the chart and the written instructions.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
it was all right.
It was fun. You know, it was a nice change from knitting to do some crochet, and just a little different.
Okay, so I also wanted to let people know that our crochet instructor, one of our crochet instructors who also organizes our workshops, is working on some new crochet classes.
Okay.
I'm really excited about this because we haven't had a lot of crochet workshops. Right. So she's doing, she's going to do a class on two classes on amigurumi.
Oh, fun.
One will be like an intro class, and then the other one will be a little bit harder. And the first one is to do these little baby octopuses.
Yeah.
And or maybe it's octopi. And they're really cute, round head and these little swirly legs. And she's going to use, Rowan hand knit cotton for the first, sample ones.
Oh, great.
It's so soft and it's a nice big cotton.
Yeah.
So, and
it would stuff really nice.
Yeah. Really bright colors. It'll be fun. And then, the next one is going to be a mermaid.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I have to talk to you.
With the tail and everything?
Yeah. I have to talk to you about yarns for that one because we may need to look at our yarn collection.
Sure.
But,
do you have a pattern book it's based on too?
The mermaid is actually a single pattern that's available online.
Because we have some amigurumi books, right?
Yeah. But we thought it's always nice with a class to do a single pattern version. And then if people want to do more, we've got books to support it. And this is one. So the mermaid style is very much like this crochet doll book. Cute. And this is really cute. And we have several copies of that in store. So if you can't come into the workshop and you're a crocheter, maybe take a look at this book online. And then,
so are they just all dolls or dolls and clothes?
This one is a doll. And then clothes as well.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had a customer come in yesterday looking for yarn to do a crochet doll. And I think it's such a nice opportunity to do. Have you heard of Waldorf dolls? Yeah. And you can make the doll look like the kid who's going to get it.
Yeah.
And there's such a nice range of colors. You can have a doll in any ethnic skin tone that you want, right? You can make the eyes any color that you want, or you can use safety eyes. But anyway,
50 patterns.
Yeah. So you can outfit your doll in all kinds of a wardrobe.
Nice.
And then I also like this one because, spring and summer are times when lots of babies are born. And so this one's all crochet for babies and it's really cute.
Nice.
And there's no octopus in here either, but there is stuffies if you want to do stuffies and blankets and baby clothes and things like that.
Nice.
So I really
and a
like
lot
them.
of our people who watch our podcast told us that they like summertime for baby things.
And socks. Yeah. So if you're a crocheter, you might find this one's really interesting. And then this is not about crochet, but this one's called Felt Wonderland. And I pulled this one out because it has a lot to do with that project I was talking before. In this one, you can knit and make felt, but excuse me, a lot of the things are cut out and sewn. Neat. And so I think this is a nice way to use up vintage fabrics if you've got those.
And just for inspiration, it's nice to have a book like that.
There's some patterns in here, like some sewing patterns as well. So I think that's really fun.
Cute.
Yeah, right? All right. So that's a little bit of books. But why don't you tell us about some summer yarns?
Sure. Okay. Well, with summertime, it's always nice to have like a cotton or a linen or a hemp, something like that. And we've got a couple. We have from Louette, we have Euroflax. We carry this all the time in our shop. It's a nice one. And I think we had a pattern recommendation, didn't we?
Or that we thought on my lap.
Would be nice.
I've got, there's one here. This is a shawl.
Yeah, this is an older pattern. This is called Lacy by Louette. You can get this on Ravelry. You had one on your laptop too. This one's beautiful. This is like a feather and fan sort of design, done with 4 skeins of Louette Euroflax. And look at how big it is. It's one of these pieces you could wrap around and around, wear it as a summertime shawl or a big scarf even in the wintertime. It'd be lovely.
Yeah.
I love linen. I think we should have more pieces in it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so you found this. We'll do a close up. We'll insert a picture in the thing here. But you found this beautiful sort of cover up,
right?
Called Shayna by
Yumiko. She's a crochet and a knitwear designer, Japanese, and she has the most beautiful designs. I think this one is knit, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I thought it was, you're right. It is. It's knitted.
Yeah. So it's just like a big rectangle, but she's knit it one way and then she's knit it the other way.
Yeah, 4 rectangles. So one across the bottom and the back, one across the bottom and the front, and then 2 rectangles over the shoulders.
You guys got to
really
go
pretty.
check it out on Ravelry. It's SHAINA, and it's beautiful. So we'll put a link to that too. But great project to do in a linen, like Euroflax, or if you wanted to, we have some of this, and you can get this online too. This is Trailhead. So this is the same Euroflax base, but it's hand painted. So this is Carol and Sam.
Oh, you're good.
From Trailhead. Sam does all the dyeing. She's vegan yarns and non-wools. So she's got lots of cotton, linen, and that's her thing. This is not an easy thing to do, to paint on linen.
No.
And she does an amazing job of speckles.
Yeah, they're really, really pretty.
The other thing we were thinking about doing our bags too. We've done a number of bags out of this. And in particular, I think one skein could do a bag.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but a few years ago we had a competition with our staff. So we gave everybody one skein of Euroflax in different colors, and we asked them to make something with it. And so at the time we were doing a Crochet 101 class, and so I made this crocheted bag using up different crochet stitches. So this is one skein of Euroflax, and we've got it shoved full of plastic, so you can just see how much you can put in there.
But great for summertime markets.
Yes.
Do you have another one?
I do. Now this one's made out of a different fiber.
Oh.
So this one
with
is
faux fruit in the bottom.
This one's quite a bit bigger, and this is also a class that we have on here at the store. It's called the French Market Bag.
Right.
And if you want to do this pattern, there's a link. The pattern is free on the designer's blog page. And then if you want a paid pattern, you can purchase it from her through Etsy. But this is
what a great
really
size,
cool.
hey?
Yeah, it's great.
How many balls did you use?
This is 2 balls of Zooey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Zooey's a linen cotton blend. So I believe, 60 cotton, 40 linen. And this is a bit of a heavier strand. It's DK weight, whereas the Euroflax is sport weight. But this is another great yarn, and it's softer. Know that linen is really crunchy. And so a lot of people, who don't have as much experience with linen shy away from it because it seems a little bit like wire when you're first knitting or crocheting with it. So if you don't like that and you want something softer, you can go to this, or you can use this in your project and wash it and throw it in the dryer a dozen times, and it just keeps getting nicer and nicer. We carry Zooey in lots of beautiful colors. There's a great neutral palette, and this would be great for Yumiko's top.
So I brought out 3 neutral palettes, and then I brought out a skein of bright pink because I didn't want people to think that there wasn't a pop of color in there.
This dyes so nicely in these bright, brilliant colors. We have several of them.
Yeah. This yarn is on our online store. So if you want to see the full color selection, we'll put in a link to the online store.
And then I brought this out because this is lovely too. This is a hand-painted version with silk. So this is Fliss. This is from Handmaiden. We love their yarns. And
so soft.
This has 65% silk, 35% linen. So now the silk being in here gives it drape and a lot of movement. Handmaiden has a beautiful pattern for a kimono top. You can see it on Ravelry. It's called the Kimono Cover-Up. We actually had this top in our shop, and this makes the most beautiful bathing suit cover for summertime out at the lake, or if you're going on a winter holiday somewhere warm. And it takes one of these. These are so cool. These are 4 or 5 of the 50 gram skeins all bundled together.
Right. So it does kind of a fade.
That's
in this
right.
Method. Yeah. So you could probably use it for a fade sweater.
Oh, sure.
Or something else. Like there's a lot of yarn in the kit.
There's a ton in here. Yeah. Or you could crochet with it too, right? It'd make lovely tops.
Yeah. That's
So
beautiful.
I think that's it for...
Yeah, so 100% linen, a linen cotton blend, and a linen silk blend. And they're all gorgeous. I have 3 garments made out of Euroflax.
You can never have enough, I think, really.
Well, it's such a nice travel garment because it's cool and it washes up so nicely.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to do anything with it. It just lays perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a few other things to chat about, Cynthia, about yarn. If now's a good time for that, I don't know.
Now's a great time. Yeah. I'll check our little schedule while you.
Okay. So in April, May, June, we're planning ahead for fall, and so we've got some really exciting things that we're working on. I can't share a lot of details with you because I don't have them yet. A lot of the yarns don't actually show up till August or September. But I thought I'd just give you a little snippet. Rowan is coming out with some beautiful new yarns this fall. And Cynthia and I got a chance to take a look at them. We're going to have them in the shop probably in the August-September timeframe. And for those of you who live here, if you love Rowan, let me know because we're going to have a special night, a Rowan night, where you can come in and try on garments. We've
nice.
got we're going to have both trunk shows. We have one coming
of the new collections. Nice.
We have one coming in July, I want to say.
You got June. Dates here.
We'll get you the exact dates. We have one coming, I think, towards the end of June, middle of July.
Right. So you got one from June 21st to July 3rd.
Okay. And that's going to feature yarns in the Spring Summer Rowan book, the magazine. And I heard that they're sending us Martin's Stories sweater with the fish
bones.
The fish bone symbol on
nice.
it. So we'll have that here. And several other garments from that book and those summer books. And then in fall, I think mid-October or early November, we're going to have all the fall garments.
How nice.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
There's some beauties. Beauties. We actually had a chance to try a few on when we were in Seattle, and they're gorgeous. The other thing that's really epic is Epic Yarn. As you know, we carry a line of Peruvian 100% Highland wool, and we bring it in directly from Peru. We're working with the mill to create brand new colors. So we're really excited because we hope that this fall we'll have up to 15 new shades in our
15
palette.
new ones?
Brand new shades in our palette.
That's more than doubling it. Okay. You see how she chose to tell me this while we're on camera?
Well,
smile and nod.
Okay, smile and nod.
But it's
don't pretend. You were also involved. You actually picked out one or two of the shades.
I didn't see 15 there, but okay. I mean, I trust your judgment. And so tell us a little bit about this, because this is a yarn that you buy directly from the mill, and that comes with some special requirements.
Well, it's been hard to try and pick colors because, you were provided kind of shade cards, sort of color cards from the mill, and then I'll also send them shades that we would like to have. But our whole goal was to work with our design team and figure out what do we want to make out of Epic. That's really where we start. And we see that Epic is a great yarn for so many things. Not only can you do sweaters with it, we've done quite a few colorwork pieces, but it's great for accessories, and it's great for mixing with mohairs. And it's just a wonderful year-round wool at a great price.
Yeah, it's very affordable. And again, I think it's really important to use natural fibers. We really got to work at getting the synthetics out of our our fabrics and out of our knitting yarns.
You're right. It's such a wool breeze. Wool absorbs moisture. There's so many great things about wool. The other thing is it's our store staple. Many yarn shops have yarns that are their store staple. They just bring them and they order them over and over again. That's what Epic is here. So it's natural, I think, to kind of extend our line a little bit. Our designers are looking for some more color.
Well, I was going to say too, I mean, when you're as a yarn shop, when you order yarn, you have to order it in large quantities. So, when somebody comes in and they want us to order a ball of yarn, we have to really think about that, because what are we going to do with the other 9?
Right.
When you're ordering yarn for your shop directly from the mill, you don't just order a bag.
No.
You got to order a kilo
kilos
or more.
Kilos. We're ordering like 30 per color.
Per color, yeah.
So that's a lot of yarn. So that's why, we need to make sure that we're very careful about what colors we pick and how much we order.
Right.
The other thing is, in order to get it here economically, you have to place large orders. We need to order hundreds of kilos to bring it in.
Right.
So that's our thought. Our plan is to bring in some new colors with Epic and increase the range. And we've got some new patterns that we're working on, new designs. So it's going to be a fun fall.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
That said, there's also some commercial yarns that we love. We love Noro. We have several Noro yarns in the shop. And this is a brand new one from them that they've come out with. And
This is really cool. This is a boucle.
It's a boucle. And they've come out with these multicolors that Noro is so famous for. But they've also done some new banding. I think I might be holding that upside down.
Was it a fabric ball band?
Yes. So this is Noro's new ball band that's done with Japanese printing on it.
That's really cool.
Isn't that cool? I just love to put up on that.
Yeah.
And then Noro has done a great job of talking about why they are so special. And they are a very special company. All these yarns are hand-picked, and they're all inspected. They're all made with such care and quality. One day, I'd love to visit the Noro factory or place where they make these. But the hang tags now talk about the Noro story, the natural fibers, the natural dyes that they use, and how they make them. So I think that's really something important that we haven't put enough emphasis on in the past, that now we can. So look for some new Noro yarns to pop in on the shelf.
I like the way that's balled up. It's really pretty. You can see all the colors along the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a bigger ball.
Yeah. And Cynthia, they have one that's like this, all in whites.
Oh.
So it's neutral. It's white with a little bit of black and a little bit of brown.
Oh, nice. That would make a really nice home accessory as well as, I was sort of thinking while you were holding it that it would be fun to do a sweater where you have the cuffs would be done in the boucle, but the rest of the sweater done in, Curion or Silk Garden in the same colorway.
A Christmas stocking or something would be cool too, right? They could do a topper in boucle.
Sure. That's lovely.
The the last kind of thing I'll talk about is some new yarns. We're looking at bringing a brand new rustic yarn in from Spain called Delana. And we don't have anything to show you, but Cynthia and I were blown away by this yarn and how cool it was.
We do talk about it in another video. So if you take a look at our Places to Go, People to See series, for the Knit for Fun retreat, we did talk to Lucinda about it, and we have some pictures in there.
Do we have
the
pictures there? Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay. So you'll be able to see that this yarn is put up in such a unique way.
These cigars.
It's like a cylinder. It's a long cylinder, and we're really excited about putting it on a shelf because we think it's going to look so cool in a cube. Yeah. But the really nice thing about it is that it's a beautiful merino, and it's so soft. There's little bits of vegetable matter in it, so if you're someone who wants a real commercial yarn, this is not probably the one for you.
Well, just On that note, right, if you see vegetable matter in your wool, then you know it's actually,
sheep to shawl.
yeah, it hasn't gone through, it hasn't been over processed. And this yarn is also not a superwash yarn.
Correct.
So it hasn't been processed that way either.
Right.
And those are beneficial in a lot of ways because you retain a lot of the elasticity of the wool when you don't over process it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one that we're really excited about too. So when that comes in, we'll let you know about it. The other thing that we're going to do is we're big supporters of indie dyers, especially some here in Alberta, like Ancient Arts. And we also are bringing in yarns from them. We're bringing in yarns from Richard DeVries.
Oh, by the way,
today,
the day we're filming, is Richard DeVries' birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday, Richard.
Hi, Richard. Oh, that's great.
So by the time he sees this, it'll be past his birthday, but I think it's
we're thinking of
nice
you.
for him to know that we're thinking of him. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
And then Julie Aslin. Julie designed brand new colors this summer. And we ordered them in. We haven't quite got them yet, but we're hoping by the time this airs, they might be here.
Oh, good.
And so look for exciting new yarns, in particular from those three of our dyers.
And then we've got Flash Mob coming up.
Right.
And we're gonna insert a little video here of the Flash Mob yarn because we don't have that yet either. But that's a really exciting one by a local dyer, Kim from Flock Fiber.
Right.
And she's doing, what did we say? The colorway was, it's the Gemini? No. Cancer.
That's the next one to come up.
Yes. Yeah. June 20th.
That's right. So
6
we'll have
p.m.
lots of nice things. So to make room for all this yarn, we have to get rid of a little bit. So check out our sale. We have a big sale online. There's many yarns there that are discounted that you can pick up at a great price. We had to say goodbye to a few really special ones like Rowan Hemp Tweed. That one is going away to make room for other ones to come in. So
right. So good time to get stocked up on Rowan Hemp Tweed. Yeah.
And then there's probably a few others that I haven't told you about yet that we're clearing out as well. So look for a few on our sale. The other one that we're really sad to say goodbye to is Gems. We're clearing out our Gems worsted, sport, and fingering yarn.
Right.
It's been a Canadian stay for us, kind of one of our house yarns for many, many years. And we're hoping that Louette will find someone to take over the line to continue it, but I don't think that's happened as of yet. Their Euroflax line, I know, is going to be is picked up from someone, and so that will be a mainstay too. But for now, we're just going to say goodbye for a while until it comes back again. And that happens all the time. Yarns come and go. So look for some great buys there.
Oh, that's perfect.
So Cynthia, what do we have left?
So why don't you show off one of those sales yarns that you were talking about? Because you've got a nice tray of it here.
Right. Yeah. We're going to be putting Barocco Suede on sale. This is a fantastic summertime yarn. It fringes up so nice. We've got a little sample here. This is Erica.
Yeah.
By Jane Richmond. We've got this one over the top.
We piled things on the mannequin because that's how you do it, right?
This fringes up so neat. If you want to do anything with fringes, this is the yarn. Anything with suede or where you want sort of a leather effect. We've seen lots of people have fun with belts and
baby
bags.
booties.
Baby booties.
You can make those little Ugg boots with them, and they're really cute. Yeah.
So this is on sale too. Look for that. And then this one we have out here because we can't seem to get enough of Andrea Mowry's shift.
Yes.
This is her little cowl. We've been putting together kits for this one with yarns that have a long transition. So a Noro yarn, or in this case we used
is this Barocco Medina?
Barocco Medina, which is a beautiful yarn. I think that's on our website too.
Yep.
You take one ball of that's your A yarn, and then you combine it with a B and a C that have high contrast. And this is a super stash buster, you guys. if you have stash that you're looking to get rid of, we have customers that are knitting 4 and 5 and 6 of these for gifts for Christmas time.
Right. And these are done with fingering to sport weight yarns. So one skein of each, 100 grams of each one will do the cowl. Yeah.
We have, Andrea has a worsted weight pattern too called Night Shift. That's bigger that you can do as well. And if you have a large stash of worsted weight yarn, but we encourage you to go into your stash and stash bust.
Well, on the last podcast, people were very interested in your Night Shift that you showed. And we talked about how you've been using some hand-dyed yarns from your stash to make that one. And then if you don't have stash yarn or you don't have the right weight, we have a sample here in the store that we also showed on a previous podcast that's made with 10 balls of Noro Curion, 5 balls in one colorway and 5 balls in another colorway. And you just alternate them throughout the pattern. Super
easy.
Yeah.
We've got a sample on the needles right now. We're using another Barocco yarn called Milli Fiori.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have plans to get another one knit in Noro. So
I have to say, Barb, I like that you do this. It's like you find something that you like and then you just start doing it in all kinds of different yarns. But this is, again, it's so nice for the store. Easy folded poncho comes to mind. I mean, how many of those have you made? And then the capelet deja vus that, plural that you've done.
The wisp popovers.
The shifts, the night shifts. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the cool thing about a local yarn shop is that you're going to get the inspirations from us, right? It's kind of like what we like and what our customers like. That's this super cool thing about working here is that every day customers come in and inspire me. Yeah. This was done by a customer who came in and was doing them.
She did 4 of them, right?
She did 4 of them.
And you took pictures and put them on mannequins and took pictures and it just went kind of...
I'm not sure I would have known about it,
Right, yeah.
So...
It became very popular really quickly. I think, and that's, again, that's part of the whole community aspect of this is that we need other people to inspire us, to help us keep a motivation up and to give us good ideas so that we're successful with our projects. And
it's all about sharing too. Our community is so generous to share ideas and suggestions. And the least we can do is knit samples, right?
That's right.
Plus it keeps up. We have people who knit for us and they love knitting with the latest yarns that come out. And so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
To be a knitter.
We hope we've inspired you a little bit today. And last month when we were going through the comments, we asked people what their favorite summer knitting was. A lot of people said socks, so that's good. What should we ask people to talk about this month? Oh, maybe what you're inspired by this month. Yeah,
or what they're planning on knitting this winter. I'd love to know, tell me, what pattern it is that you think everybody should make.
This winter. Yeah, to help you with your ordering. Okay.
Or, sometimes too, there's a sweater that's got a really cool design or an interesting detail to it. Let us know what inspires you, what you like to make.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon, or this morning, or this evening, whenever you're watching us. Yeah. And we hope you have a lovely month, and we'll see you here again in about 30 days. All right. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, Barb.
Hi.
We're back here in our warehouse, and we're looking at pictures.
Yeah, Kim from Flock Fiber, who's doing our next flash mob, just sent a note. She's doing the flash mob for Cancer, the zodiac sign, and there were a couple of inspiration words around that one: peaceful, and then a series, like a colorway that they recommended, like silver or white. And Kim says the inspiration word peaceful and the silver white colors made her think of light refracting through a crystal to make gentle, scattered rainbows. And so what she's done is a full skein and a set of mini gradients for us.
Oh, cool. And she sent
a picture. So here you go. This is it. her full skein of her fingering weight sock yarn, and then 5 minis that are gradients. So they kind of go together, and then there's a pop of color on the end of each of them.
That's beautiful. And are we selling this as a set, Barb?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is
And
going out as a set on the 20th as
Right.
part of our flash mob.
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.